Greetings all you mayors and minds on rhymes, and welcome back to another Warframe weapon showcase. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Nagantaka Prime, Garuda Prime's crossbow. This thing hits really hard. This thing does tremendous amounts of damage. I do have some problems with it, but I will talk about that later after the showcase and when I'm doing the end of video spiel. So this is how I have it set up. I didn't even bother with a viral build, not yet anyway, because I haven't really been fighting Corpus with this thing. So the reason I have Primary Merciless on here instead of Primary Deadhead is that, yes, when you get a headshot kill with this weapon, you have a chance of getting more reload speed. However, the projectiles on this weapon are not as fast as I thought they would be, and that's unfortunate. So I decided to go with Primary Merciless because this gives reload speed anyway, and without it, this thing has a 2.3 reload speed with 11 round mag. That's annoying. So the Nagantaka, ignore the hearts. That's just the arrow skin I have. So yeah, it's a semi-auto crossbow, and the alt fire is just like the normal one, where you fire all of the bolts in quick succession. Anyway, now let's go ahead and show what this thing is going to be doing. Keep in mind, it has to get everything, stacked up. You'll know that. Okay, there it was. There was a faster reload. You'll know that you get it because another icon appears next to all the stuff in the right hand side of the screen. Yeah, as you see, this thing is... It sure is doing a lot of damage, right? Like, yeah, this damage is actually kind of ridiculous. And if these enemies were viral procced with my Panzer, I'd be one-shotting them. But yeah. And again, that's the alt-fire. So, yeah. Really powerful weapon. Just overall, it hits very hard. So we're going to go ahead and go into Steel Path. And I'm actually going to be playing as Nidus this time. I only picked Nezha just because. I'm going to be playing Nidus because this weapon works very well with Warframes that can group enemies together. Also, keep in mind, first off, Umbral Nidus. Second off, Team of Virulence is going to giving this thing more crit chance. So this thing's going to be guaranteed crits. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the Steel Path. Also, something I want to mention, I basically bought the weapon. I bought each individual piece. The entire set was going for stupid amounts of plat. I did also end up buying Garuda Prime because her parts were not dropping for me. The 2 gold parts. Yeah, I was just really annoyed at that. But Garuda Prime video will be next video I upload, so a few days after this video. Alright, come here. Because I need to... First things first with Nidus, as always, is getting stacks. And this is not very efficient, but... Alright, now to stack up my weapon. And yeah. That is a tremendous amount of damage. So you could basically just wrap enemies up and then burst into them with this thing. And keep in mind, this thing, the description says it has a chance to cause bleeding. It's basically like guaranteed this thing bleeds, by the way, because the status chance is so high. Okay, that was fucking stupid as shit. For some goddamn reason, Game Bar decided to just turn off. So... glad I caught that, but what the fuck was that? Anyway, as I was saying, this thing has a guaranteed impact proc. So shielded enemies kind of get their shit kicked in. I know people probably don't value impact that much, but I mean, come on. It breaks shields pretty quickly, and since this thing does so much slash, shields kind of just get wrecked. Also, these guys are, you know, they're like ants. They're annoying. Well, they're more like fleas. Like, get out of here. You are not killing the god known as Nidus. I know I should probably have Nidus Prime all Umbral and he'd be even tankier because higher armor values, but I really don't care. I'll get him eventually. If I really feel like it, which I kind of don't. I gotta activate some life support here. Also, this thing likes to rip enemies apart, so it's going to be nice for Necros. This is another reason why I put primary Merciless on, because it's so much easier to it's easier to just kill enemies wrapped up and not have to worry about getting headshots. It's harder to get headshots when they're wrapped up. So yeah, this thing is doing, it does a lot of damage. Like, when the Acolyte comes, you're going to see how fast this thing can actually kill the Acolyte, as long as it's not Malice.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
Now, if you don't know about Malice, he likes to use mag bubbles. So you're not allowed to shoot him. And with a weapon this powerful, I would actually die even tethered to an enemy. Also, you do not need to have a full magazine to do the alt fire. So yeah, this thing is, I can't say it enough. It hits so hard. Alrighty, here he comes. Also, keep in mind, I don't have a ribbon for this weapon.
Prepare for life support.
Oh, it's Torment. Alright. Quit running. Yeah. Doing a lot of damage there. Keep in mind, the Acolytes are super tanky and they cannot be affected by viral from any source.
Second warning.
I don't even think Saren can affect him with viral. So,
Life support activated.
I mean, I'd never play Saren in the Steel Path. That does not sound fun. Anyway.
Life support activated.
Yeah, you see how slow the oh god. You see how slow the projectiles are moving.
When you are ready, go to extraction.
Alright. Also, keep in mind that when you're wielding this with Garuda or Garuda Prime, you get a super special bonus called 1 more meter punch through. So that seems like a very, very lame little bonus, but
Life support
whatever. So yeah, obviously, a weapon that is doing this much damage is powerful. Who knew a weapon that does a lot of damage does a lot of damage? And now is the part where I talk about why I'm slightly disappointed with this weapon and primes in general. So, overall, the weapon, really good. Very powerful, very fun. But here's the thing. I'm going to give some examples of prime weapons that are different from their common counterparts and different in super cool ways. I'm actually wielding one right now, the Piranha Prime. The normal Piranha doesn't clone itself. The Piranha Prime does. A Also, something like where is it? Where is it? I have a lot of weapons. The Zeus Prime. The Zeus Prime explodes. Its bolts, when they embed, they explode. The normal Zeus does not do that. It's basically just a full auto crossbow. Why isn't the Nagantaka Prime something like that? Even if this thing just ricocheted, that'd be cool. But it's not. It's literally just a normal Nagantaka with more damage and two more bolts in the magazine. I really, 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 really want DE to, from now on, or go back and buff the other primes to make the primes unique. Because, effectively, primed weapons and primed warframes are like lost technology. All the, at least this is my understanding of the lore, all of the standard weapons are basically like off-brand clones. The primes are like the cream of the crop, are like, what they were originally, like what these weapons used to be back in the day of the Orcan Empire. But they don't feel that way because they kind of just feel generic. Another prime weapon that is really unique and slightly different, not by much, than its normal counterpart is the Corinth Prime. Did the Corinth Prime need grenades that, you can slam on the ground whenever you want? No. Did it need a bigger magazine? I guess. But that's just my that's just my thought on it. Primes should be something unique. They should be something that is like, wow, this is nothing like the original the normal standard version, the non-prime. We see this with Kuva weapons too. Yes, in a lot of ways, the Kuva and Tenant weapons are just the original buffed in a certain way. But not all of them are. Some of them are like legit just straight upgrades, and some are actually fairly different. But why aren't primes treated this way? Why isn't the Nagantaka Prime a crossbow that when you hit an enemy, the bolts ricochet or they explode or there's a 1 meter cone around them like Grays in Payday 2, which I did a video on how to implement that into this game. They could add that as a mod. They could add that as an arcane. I really hope they do add more primary arcanes. But all that being said, this weapon, the Nagantaka Prime, it hits so hard. Like, the enemies don't last very long, including Steelpath. Like, you saw it in there. Just ripping through enemies. So why do I want make this thing say, like, have Ricochet or something unique? Because it deserves it. It's a prime weapon. Primes deserve to be unique. They deserve to be the, what they originally were. Because, like I said, the normal weapons that we have before primes, they feel just like off-brand clones or something like that. This is effectively lost technology if we were concerning the the Orcan Empire and the lore of Warframe. But either way, this thing hits extremely hard. Like, really, really hard. Also, I like how it says it has 1.7 impact, but it guarantees impact. So, and yeah, when this thing was originally in the game like a day ago, it had basically like 4 out of 5 ribbon disposition, so the ribbons were going for like an arm and a leg. I feel bad for any poor bastards that paid that much on a ribbon. Don't pay anything for ribbons. Ribbons are pointless. We should just be able to put Kuva into the weapons and juice up these stats or give it a unique ability. That'd be cool. Use a Kuva and something else to give a weapon a unique ability. DE could do that. That'd be fun. Think about all the experimentation. I want the Super Vandal to ricochet. Give me that. That sounds like a lot of fun. We actually might get a Tenet Supra and be doing that. I'm all for that. Um, with all that being said, the Nagataka Prime, if I'm even saying that right, I'm just gonna call it the Nagataka. Amazing. It hits like no other. This thing does some of the most damage I've ever seen in the game for a semi-auto weapon, or basically a non-explosive weapon. Dumb damage, absolutely dumb amounts of damage. I'd recommend it. But I'm a little disappointed. I thought this crossbow was gonna have a little sauce to it, but it doesn't. It came out mild, and I wanted this thing to be spicy, but it's not. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, in Trilby, we trust.